Welcome to Void Realities. Tonight you will drift into the silent heart of our galaxy, a place hidden behind clouds of stars and dust, where an invisible giant waits. Sagittarius A star, the black hole at the center of the Milky Way, a monster that devours yet also holds everything together. As you listen, let the rhythm of the cosmos quiet your mind. Let the vastness soften your thoughts, and allow the mystery of the galaxy's dark heart to guide you gently into sleep. Sagittarius A, the monster devouring our galaxy. You close your eyes and imagine yourself floating far above the Milky Way. The galaxy spreads out like a glowing whirlpool, its arms made of countless stars, dust, and clouds of gas. It turns slowly, gracefully, like a great wheel moving through the quiet of space. Every spark of light, every drifting cluster finds its place in this cosmic spiral. And as you gaze upon its beauty, you notice something. The arms of the galaxy, though spread wide, all seem to point inward. They curve and twist as though guided by an invisible hand. And at their center, hidden behind veils of dust, rests something darker than night. You cannot see it. Your eyes search, but there is no glow, no brilliant sun marking its place. Instead, there is a silence, a stillness, as though the heart of the galaxy holds a secret it does not want to show. It is here, in this darkness, that Sagittarius A star resides. You drift closer, slowly moving inward through the layers of starlight. Around you, stars grow thicker, packed tighter, as if they are drawn towards something they cannot resist. It is not chaos, not destruction, but a quiet gathering, as though all roads eventually lead here. The gravity grows stronger, not in force you can feel, but in the pull of your imagination. This place, though unseen, holds the galaxy together. Its presence commands every star, every cluster, every orbit. The Milky Way spins because of it, balanced on the weight of something you cannot touch. It is a paradox, emptiness that rules, silence that holds. As you move deeper into this imagined journey, you sense the mystery. Sagittarius, a star is a black hole, a region where gravity bends space and time so severely that nothing, not even light, can escape. But here, at the beginning of your path, it is not yet frightening. It is quiet, like the steady heartbeat of something vast and eternal. You think of your own body, the way your heart works in silence. It does not cry for attention, yet it rules the rhythm of your life. Without it, nothing else flows, nothing else holds together. So too with this dark heart of the galaxy. It is not light that defines it, but the invisible structure it gives to everything around it. You pause here, letting the image sink in. The thought that your galaxy, every star you have ever seen, every constellation that has guided sailors or inspired poets, moves in its orbit because of this dark center. The stars follow a rhythm set not by brilliance, but by absence. And there is a strange comfort in that. It tells you that silence is not emptiness, that what you cannot see can still hold everything in place. That mystery itself can be a kind of anchor. As you rest in this awareness, you let go of the need to know every detail. It is enough for now to drift at the edge of the galactic center, to feel the calm of something immense, unseen, and yet utterly reliable. You breathe slowly, your body softening with the rhythm. The stars around you glow gently, while behind them waits the invisible gravity of Sagittarius A star. You do not yet enter its shadow. You simply sit with the knowledge that at the heart of your galaxy lies a presence, silent, hidden, and endlessly patient. And you wonder, softly, what secrets might reveal themselves if you dare to drift closer. You drift closer to the center of the Milky Way, moving past thick clouds of dust and glowing gas. The starlight softens, dimmed by the veils of matter, yet in certain windows, your view opens wide, and there, in the crowded heart of the galaxy, You see stars moving in ways that defy imagination. They are not still. They are not drifting lazily, as stars in the outer spiral often do. Instead, they race, swift and sharp, as though tethered to an invisible point. Some complete their orbits in only a few years, rushing around as if caught in a cosmic storm. It is a strange sight, because stars are meant to move slowly, their journeys taking millions of years. But here, in the galactic core, time itself feels accelerated. Astronomers on Earth, watching patiently with powerful telescopes, noticed this strange dance. For decades, they tracked the positions of these stars, measuring their paths against the darkness behind them. The orbits curved sharply, like comets slingshotting around an unseen sun. But there was no sun, no glowing body, nothing to explain the force holding them in such tight circles. And yet, the stars revealed the truth. Through their movements, you could calculate what lay at the center. The math was unavoidable. Something enormous, something heavy, something packed into a space smaller than a single star. 4 million times the mass of our sun, yet hidden, invisible. The stars were not just moving, they were pointing towards Sagittarius A star. You watch them as though standing in the dark while fireflies trace spirals around a hidden tree. You cannot see the tree itself, but the flight of the fireflies tells you it is there. In the same way, the stars whisper the presence of the black hole. Each loop, each sudden curve, each acceleration is a clue. The stars cannot help but reveal the secret they orbit. One star in particular, known as S2, completes its path in just 16 years. Imagine that, 16 years for a star to circle, something millions of times heavier than the sun. When it swings closest, it rushes at speeds of more than 25 million kilometers per hour. In that moment, it brushes near the very edge of the black hole's invisible boundary. It bends, it flares, and then it arcs away, flung back into space until the next loop draws it in again. You feel the tension in this dance. It is not chaotic, but it is not gentle either. It is like watching children play at the edge of an ocean tide, each wave pulling them close, each retreat sending them back. The stars are safer now, but the closeness carries a quiet warning. And yet, there is beauty here. The stars shimmer and twirl, their orbits weaving invisible lines through the fabric of space. It is a ballet choreographed by gravity, a performance billions of years in the making. Though the black hole itself gives no light, the stars around it shine all the brighter, as if announcing its presence. You rest with this thought, that even what cannot be seen reveals itself through what surrounds it. You may not glimpse the black hole directly, but you see its fingerprints in every orbit. Its silence speaks through the motion of others. As you float in this vision, you feel your own breath steady, like the rhythm of an orbit. Inhale, exhale. Drawn in, released, held by forces unseen, yet trustworthy. You close the chapter with a quiet curiosity. If the stars can dance so close to darkness and still shine, what might happen if you drift nearer, toward the very threshold where light itself begins to falter? You drift nearer to the darkness, carrying with you the questions that stars have whispered. What is this thing they orbit? What is a black hole, really? The name itself misleads you. It is not a hole, like a gap in the ground, and not truly an object either, like a planet or a star. It is something stranger, a region of space where gravity has grown so strong that nothing can escape. Not planets, not gas, not even light itself. You imagine space as a fabric stretched wide, like a smooth sheet. Place a pebble on it, and the fabric dips. Place a heavy stone, and it bends deeper. Now imagine placing something so impossibly heavy that the sheet stretches into a bottomless well. That is what a black hole is. Space itself, pulled into an endless curve. But how does such a thing come to be? You follow the thought gently. like tracing a thread through the dark. When massive stars reach the end of their lives, they collapse. Their cores shrink under the weight of their own gravity, tighter and tighter, until nothing can resist the pull. The atoms themselves fold inward, and the star becomes a singularity, a point of infinite density. Around it forms the event horizon, the invisible boundary that marks the point of no return. You pause here. It is not necessary to picture the mathematics, though they exist, precise and unyielding. It is enough to imagine this, a star that once shone with brilliance, now pressed into darkness so complete that not even photons can break free. The light is gone, yet the gravity remains, stronger than ever. And so the black hole is not something you can see. You know it only through its effects, through the way it bends starlight, through the paths of the stars you watched in the previous chapter, through the flares of gas that spiral inward before disappearing. It is a presence defined not by what it shows, but by what it hides. You reflect on the paradox. A black hole devours, yet in devouring, it reveals. It takes away light, but by doing so, it lets you see the structure of the universe more clearly. Its gravity is a teacher, showing you the rules of space and time pushed to their limits. It is destruction and instruction in the same breath. You let this paradox settle in your body. You think of your own life, how sometimes what disappears teaches you more than what remains, how absence itself can shape your path as surely as presence. In this way, the black hole becomes not just a scientific curiosity, but a mirror, reflecting the quiet truths you already carry. And yet, there is more. Black holes bend not just space, but time itself. To fall toward one is to enter a place where seconds and centuries intertwine, where the flow of existence no longer feels steady. This thought lingers at the edge of your awareness, like a door not yet opened. For now, you rest with the understanding that a black hole is not an object at all. It is the shape of space made extreme. It is gravity without light, presence without form, silence that rules with absolute certainty. You breathe into this image, a well without bottom, a boundary without walls, a heart of darkness that holds the galaxy in its sway. And softly, you wonder, what would it feel like to drift closer toward that invisible threshold, the event horizon where time and light dissolve into mystery? You let yourself drift closer now, no longer content to remain at a distance. The stars behind you begin to fade, their light stretched and bent by the gravity ahead. You are approaching the event horizon, the boundary that divides the universe into two halves. The outside world and the place from which nothing escapes. It is not a wall, not a surface, not something you could touch. It is simply the point of no return. Imagine standing at the edge of a great waterfall. Upstream, the river flows calmly, but once it reaches the brink, there is no turning back. The water plunges, helpless, into the depths below. The event horizon is much the same, but instead of water, it is light, time, and space themselves that tumble inward. From a distance, you might expect to see something dramatic. A flare, a boundary drawn sharp across the stars. But the horizon is quiet, invisible. It hides in plain sight, revealed only by what it does. A beam of light skimming too close bends away, stretched thin. A star behind the black hole is smeared into arcs, glowing in strange distortions. Space becomes a mirror that does not reflect clearly, but warps and twists all that passes near. And then there is time. As you approach the horizon, time itself begins to shift. From your own perspective, your breathing remains steady. Your thoughts flow as they always do. But if someone were watching you from afar, they would see you slowing. Each movement, each blink, each heartbeat would stretch into longer and longer moments. To them, you would appear to freeze at the horizon, forever balanced at the edge, never crossing. Yet to you, the fall continues. You move forward, into the silence. This paradox is unsettling and soothing at once. It reminds you that time is not as rigid as you imagine. It bends, it flexes, it adapts to gravity's pull. Your seconds can be someone else's centuries, and in the grip of the black hole, these truths become undeniable. As you drift, you feel your thoughts begin to soften. Details blur, boundaries dissolve. It is as if the black hole is not just bending space, but bending meaning itself. Outside and inside, before and after. These pairs no longer seem so firm. Everything feels fluid, slow, dreamlike. The light of the stars around you smears into a halo, forming what scientists call the photon sphere. Here, light itself is caught in orbit, circling endlessly, neither escaping nor falling inward. You imagine beams of light chasing themselves in loops, never quite breaking free. It feels like standing in a hall of mirrors where every reflection is chasing another. You hover near this place, knowing that one more step will take you past the event horizon. There is no sound, no warning, only the steady draw inward, the soft pull of inevitability. And yet, it is not frightening. It is strangely calm, as though you are being invited into a deeper silence. The fear you might expect is replaced with curiosity, with the awareness that you are entering a region of reality few can even imagine. It feels like standing at the doorway of a sacred space, a place where the rules of the familiar world no longer apply. You breathe slowly, letting the rhythm of your chest steady you against the immensity. One part of you longs to turn back, to cling to the light and the known. But another part feels the draw of the unknown, the call of the threshold. There is no rush, only the soft awareness that once you cross, there is no return. And so you pause here, floating at the very brink of forever. The stars blur, time stretches, silence deepens. You rest at the edge of the horizon, listening, waiting, wondering what it will feel like to let go. You hover at the brink, watching the black hole not as an abstract concept, but as something alive with rhythm. It is not always consuming. It does not roar with endless appetite. Instead, it shifts between states, sometimes stirring with hunger, sometimes resting in stillness. It is a monster, yes, but a monster that breathes in cycles. When matter drifts too close, gas, dust, even the remnants of stars, it begins to spiral. The black hole does not swallow it all at once. Instead, the matter forms a disk around the horizon, whirling faster and faster, heating until it glows with unbearable light. This disk is called the accretion disk, and it shines brighter than entire galaxies when the feeding is fierce. To fall toward a black hole is to be stretched, torn, ignited into brilliance before vanishing into silence. You picture a cloud of gas wandering too near. At first, it drifts like mist in the dark. But then the pull tightens, stretching the cloud into a stream. It twists, it spirals, it frays at the edges, glowing as friction sets it aflame. And as you watch, the cloud no longer looks like a cloud at all. It becomes a ribbon of light, unraveling into the waiting mouth of darkness. But this hunger is not constant. Sagittarius, a star, can go quiet for centuries, even millennia. For long stretches, it rests in near silence, feeding only on wisps of gas. It becomes dormant, barely stirring, its presence known only by the subtle motions of stars around it. Then, without warning, it awakens, like a sleeper rolling over in their bed, stirring the entire room. Scientists have found traces of these awakenings. The space around the black hole carries echoes of past feasts, arcs of radiation, shells of energy expanding outward. They are like footprints in the sand, reminders that the monster does not always sleep. Sometimes it wakes and consumes with ferocity, reshaping the space around it. And yet even in its feeding, there is order. Without these outbursts, galaxies might collapse into chaos. The energy released keeps the surrounding stars and gas from gathering too densely. It regulates, balances, prevents the heart of the galaxy from suffocating under its own weight. The monster's hunger, paradoxically, helps the galaxy live. You sit with this thought, destruction as a form of balance. The act of devouring becomes a kind of gift, though it does not look like one. The black hole gives structure by taking away. It shapes by erasing. It keeps life in motion by feeding on what strays too near. You reflect on your own rhythm of hunger and rest. There are times when you take in experience, knowledge, emotion, feeding on what life offers. And there are times when you fall quiet, still, almost dormant, gathering strength for the next surge. In this way, you're not so different from the galaxy's heart. You too have cycles of consuming and cycles of sleeping. Neither defines you alone. It is the rhythm between them that gives you balance. Around Sagittarius, a star, gas and dust continue their endless dance. Some will fall inward, igniting into brilliance. Some will pass by, spared for now. The monster waits, patient and eternal, its appetite neither constant nor absent, but pulsing with cosmic rhythm. You let yourself rest in that rhythm. It is not frantic, not terrifying, but steady, an inhale, an exhale. A stirring, then a stillness, a hunger, then a sleep. As you drift in this awareness, you realize the black hole is not only a devourer. It is also a keeper of balance, a sculptor of galaxies, a reminder that even in the vastness of space, cycles matter. And as you breathe with it, slowly and calmly, you wonder, if this is what the black hole does when it sleeps and wakes, then what deeper role does it play in holding the entire galaxy together? You linger in the calm after the black hole's feeding, the silence that follows its restless stirrings. The galaxy stretches out before you now, its spiral arms vast and luminous. Billions of stars swirl in their orbits, nebulae glow softly, clusters drift together like cosmic families, and at the very heart of it all lies Sagittarius, a star, silent, invisible, yet utterly in control. It is tempting to think of the black hole as only a destroyer, a devourer of matter, but as you gaze upon the Milky Way, you see its true role revealed. Without this anchor, the galaxy's stars would scatter, their orbits unstable, the spiral unraveling into chaos. It is the darkness itself that holds everything in place. You imagine the galaxy without its center. The arms would lose their graceful form. The stars would drift aimlessly, pulled by no unifying hand. The quiet order of the spiral would vanish. And in that imagining, you realize the paradox. It is the unseen that gives shape to the seen. The absence at the core makes the beauty of the galaxy possible. The stars you saw dancing in Chapter 2 are not rebels. They are loyal participants in a rhythm set by the black hole. Their movements are not random. They are answers to gravity's call, evidence of structure where there seems to be none. And as they orbit, they reveal the truth that darkness can be a form of guidance. You think of your own life, the ways unseen forces shape you. The habits you cannot name, the memories hidden deep, the quiet instincts that steer your choices. They are not visible, yet they form the architecture of who you are. Like Sagittarius A star, they shape your path, not with light, but with pull. The galaxy reminds you, what is hidden is not always harmful. What is invisible is not always empty. Sometimes it is the very thing that holds you steady, the silent presence that gives your world its form. You drift farther out now, rising above the galactic plane. From this vantage point, the Milky Way reveals itself in full, a great spiral, arms unfurling like ribbons across the dark. You see the faint glow of billions of stars blending into a silver river of light. And though your eyes cannot see Sagittarius, a star at the center, you know it is there, commanding, balancing, sculpting. It is humbling, this realization, that the monster at the core is not chaos, but order, Not destruction, but design. It does not only swallow, it holds. It does not only consume, it sustains. You breathe with this awareness, letting it settle in your chest. Inhale, exhale. You too are shaped by forces you cannot always see. You too are balanced by silences, anchored by mysteries that do not reveal themselves openly. The galaxy spins on, patient and eternal. Its arms sweep slowly, its stars live and die, its nebulae birth new light. And through it all, Sagittarius. A star waits in silence, sometimes feeding, sometimes sleeping, always holding the Milky Way in its vast, unseen embrace. As you prepare to leave this journey, you realize you are not returning to an ordinary world. You are returning with a new understanding. That darkness does not always mean danger, that absence can carry meaning, and that silence itself can be a form of strength. You let the image fade gently, a spiral galaxy turning in the night, its hidden heart pulsing with quiet power. And as your thoughts soften, you feel the comfort of knowing that even in the vastness of space, balance is kept by what cannot be seen. The journey has carried you inward to the very center of your galaxy. You have floated past the glowing arms of stars, watched the wild dance of orbits, and lingered at the event horizon of Sagittarius A star. You have felt the hunger of the black hole, its cycles of feeding and silence, and you have seen how its unseen presence shapes the Milky Way. And now, as the story softens, you drift outward again, carrying with you not fear, but a quiet sense of balance. The galaxy is vast beyond comprehension, filled with light and motion. Yet it is held steady by a single point of darkness. Without that center, everything would unravel. What seems like a destroyer is, in truth, a keeper of order. This paradox is what you take with you now, that absence can be structure, silence can be power, and even the darkest places can hold the universe together. You breathe into this realization, inhale slowly, exhale gently. Your body relaxes, following the rhythm of your breath, as though it too is orbiting something steady at its center. You feel the comfort of gravity, not as a force that pulls, but as a hand that holds. The image of the Milky Way rises in your mind once more. From far above, it appears as a spiral of soft light stretched across the darkness. Its arms curve gracefully, each star a tiny note in a song too large to hear. At the center lies Sagittarius, a star, invisible but essential. You cannot see it, but you know it is there, keeping the song in harmony. The thought soothes you that what you cannot see is not always to be feared. That mystery is not always threat. It can be anchor, foundation, balance. Like the black hole, the unseen in your life may be quietly holding everything together. You reflect gently on your own hidden center, the part of you that does not shine with outward light, but still gives you shape. The silence within you that guides, even when it is not visible to others. The gravity of your own heart, steady and patient, keeping your life in orbit. The story of Sagittarius. A star becomes a mirror now. It is not only the galaxy's story, but your story too. You, like the Milky Way, are a collection of shining moments and hidden depths. You, like the stars, move in orbits shaped by forces you cannot always see. And you, like the galaxy itself, are held together by something quiet and unseen. Your own center, your own anchor. You let the metaphor cradle you, not as an explanation, but as a gentle reassurance. That just as the Milky Way endures, balanced on its hidden heart, so too can you endure, held by your own inner gravity. Your body softens further, sinking deeper into rest. The edges of thought blur like starlight smeared by the pull of gravity. Time stretches, the present moment expanding, carrying you closer to sleep. The story has become less about the black hole and more about the quiet comfort of knowing you are held. You imagine yourself drifting outward now, away from the galactic center. The spiral arms stretch below you, a river of light flowing endlessly through space. The black hole disappears from view, hidden once more behind clouds of dust. But you do not need to see it. You know it is there, and that is enough. As you drift farther, the galaxy itself grows smaller until it is only a silver band against the dark. Billions of stars reduced to a single soft glow. It feels almost like closing your eyes at night, the vast complexity of the day folding gently into darkness, safe and whole. The voice of the story quiets now, like the fading echo of a lullaby. The last thought it leaves with you is simple: that in every vastness there is balance, in every silence there is structure, and in every darkness there is the possibility of rest. You let go of the galaxy now. You let go of Sagittarius A star, the monster and the anchor, the devourer and the keeper of balance. You let go of questions, of wonder, of thought itself. All that remains is breath, steady and slow. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. The stars fade into the background of your mind. The spiral softens. The story dissolves into silence. And in that silence, you rest, safe, balanced, and whole.